Hello, welcome to the stream, one and all. Hope you're having a marvellous day. There's a little bit of flicker in the background there I'm detecting, which is coming from the light in the other room. Hang on, let me just turn it off. That's better. No flicker. The flicker has been de-flickered. How are you all doing? How's tricks? What's up? I'm so excited. No more excited than usual, I feel. Just the general. I think it's nice to start with a little bit of energy to boost you through your Thursdays. And, you know, Divines know we need it to get through to the end of a Thinky Thursday stream. Trying to do difficult modding things without collapsing. Anyway, hi. I have Coke. Hang on. Marvellous. Right, yes. I am doing very well. I am looking forward to doing a bit of Lucianing, which is always good fun. I'm hoping the stream will behave and everything. You may notice, you may not notice, we are streaming under the Skyrim Special Edition category, which is different to the normal category we stream under. We normally stream under Skyrim, and now we're streaming under Skyrim Special Edition. And the reason for that is I was just looking on Twitch, and I was like, I saw that there are 500 viewers on Skyrim Special Edition and 100 viewers on the main Skyrim. And I was like, well, in that case, if more people are watching on the Skyrim Special Edition category, surely I should stream on there. So we're giving it a try this week. I had a little chat with Pathetic Wolf on his stream, which is going on at the moment as well. Not encouraging you to click away or anything. But he was like, he agreed that it's a more active category. So, I thought, let me just close down the background stuff. Hang on, sorry. So I thought I'd give it a go anyway. See what, how it goes for discoverability and all that jazz. Normally Twitch only has one category for each game. Like, they don't normally separate games out by different editions. They like to just group it all together. So it's weird that they've chosen to do it for Skyrim specifically. But there you go. Anyway, right. So, I'm just closing down all the various background things and we can get started. So today, we are working on Lucien's Beyond Skyrim Bruma patch, as we have been doing over the last few weeks, although we took a week off to play Stray instead, of course. But we're going to be carrying on with that. I thought I might do a bit more quest commentary today. Have a go at, you know, the main quest. I know it's not a main quest, but like the quest line for Bruma with Captain Adius and all of that. Thought we might try implementing some of that stuff. And see where we get to. Maybe it does, Mystic Malevolence, but then one does wonder why they don't have different editions for other games. You know, normally they don't, so presumably there's some kind of manual oversight that happens. I don't really know how it works. Anyway, thank you so much for the sub, that's very kind of you. Miskatonic, very lovely. Most appreciated. Just trying to bump down the resolution so you can see what I'm doing on my screen when we start with the modding. There we go. And then we can close Steam because we don't need Steam. One of these days I'll be properly set up at the start of a stream. We're going to need Tiny Lucien because we need his assistance, otherwise we fail. There we go. Right, so now... Oh, and the last thing, we need to have the internet open so we can look up all of the Bruma stuff on UESP. Which, from this precise moment, I've decided to start calling WISP. Because that looks like how it should be pronounced. WISP. It's quite fun to say. WISP. Anyway, there's my streaming profile. Here's the CK. And we want the Bruma patch. Hi. Lots of new names that I haven't seen very much before. Nice to see you all, new people. Thank you for tuning in. He will be on the screen, check. He will be on the screen. Give me one merest moment. Okay, now I'm ready to go to screen with camera. Whee! And here he is. It's Tiny Lucien. He's on the screen. Ooh, Tiny Lucien. So we seem to have the same issue as last week, which is that I can't scroll back through my Twitch chat. I don't know why that is. So, if I miss your message, please do send it again after a minute or so. I don't know why Twitch is being difficult these days, but it is. So there we are. Right. You're traveling with Big Lucien right now. What adventures are you on with him? Where have you taken him? Have you treated him recently? Have you given him a hug or a sweet roll? Anyway, if we show only active forms, we go to our quest. Now, we were doing some comments about Frostcrag Spire, which we should probably finish off because we only got as far as doing 2 lines about that, and then we called it a day. So we should do Frostcrag Spire just a bit, and then we should start on our quest interaction stuff. Because I think having some quest interactions is a good core for the version 1 of the patch. We mentioned before that I'd like to release this in stages, so rather than have a complete Bruma patch all released in one go, because that'd take forever to do, thought I'd do a small one and start scaling it up over time. But I think it should cover the main Bruma quest in the version 1 release, so that's one of the main things we need to have stuff on. Don't bring him to horrible Draugr-filled dungeons, he doesn't like it. Do recruit Zelzaz. Zelzaz is a delight. Anyway, here is Wisp. Hello, Fish Fiend! I'm very glad you're curled up on the couch. On the couch. That is a good place to be. Please remain there. Lucien has nothing to say about any of those things to Penny Raven, I'm afraid. Sorry to disappoint. He does not yet have any dialogue to do with the Thieves Guild. I'm sorry. I try my best. But I can't cover everything. Anyway, so... Oh, that's just reminded me. Look, there are other Beyond Skyrim releases. Obviously, there's the Joke Calipers mod. I could do a Lucien interaction patch to make him comment on the calipers. And there's Wares of Tamriel, which could be one to comment on as well at some point. That would be very similar to the Rare Curios interactions, if we were to do that. But anyway, Bruma first. It is crucial check, it is. How can you play without the Calipers mod? Indeed. Anyway, so we're going with Bruma. And we are going to go to... let's go to places to start with, so we can bring up Frostcrag Spire, because we should say more about that than just 2 lines. Maybe if I just go Frostcrag Spire. No, because that doesn't give me the Bruma version when you search for it. What is it? Is it a... It's not a... Is it a guild? It's not really a guild hall. It's just a place. Bruma, UESP, Frostcrag Spire. Is a lot of scripting knowledge required to create a follower? Asked Geezerbean. No, it's not. So, if you want to create a follower mod, all you need to be able to do is follow my tutorial videos. That'll get you through. I've written all the scripts that you need, following 2 really good tutorials that my original tutorials, some of my episodes are based on. But if you check out my tutorial series, How to Make a Follower Mod like Lucien Flavius, you'll find all you have to do is copy and paste the scripts. Now, it's good to have an understanding of what the scripts do. I explain them in the videos, so I would recommend it's self-plug here, but I would recommend you check those out. That'll take you through all the core scripting you need to create your follower mod. Now, yes, if you want your follower mod to do lots of clever things, you will need to become quite comfortable with scripting. If you want things like patchless mod interactions, you know, like a dynamic personality system like Lucien has, or training, you know, all these things will all require scripts. But to set up a basic follower, no, you're fine. You can get away with just following my tutorial episodes. So check those out if you like. Is the Papyrus language difficult to learn? Okay, so that's not the approach I would suggest taking. You don't, I'll just go back to full camera while I'm talking about this. You don't want to set out to say, I'm going to learn Papyrus, because you don't. That's not the right approach to take. You can't just learn it. What you want to do is learn it on a case-by-case basis, on a function-by-function basis. That is the best approach, I would say, to take with modding. So you go, it's got thousands of functions. Don't worry about learning the functions. You just want to go along and you just want to say, okay, right, so I've got my follower. I want him to be able to learn a spell. So you go Google, and you go into Google, and you Google Creation Kit. Always start with Creation Kit, because that gets you to the Creation Kit wiki. You go Creation Kit, scripting, how to add a spell to an NPC. And that'll probably be enough for you to find the page that comes up then saying add spell. I mean, I can show you. This is literally the process. So if I want to say Creation Kit, add a spell to NPC. And then we have a look. There's nothing instantly coming up. So we go script. And then you'll find there's tutorials. You'll find there's forum things coming up. Okay, that's good. But what I really wanted was the Creation Kit wiki. So maybe I'll bring that up. Maybe Creation Kit wiki add spell. It's interesting. It does normally search, but in that case, we just go straight to the Creation Kit wiki. No, that's not it. We can find that. Why does the Creation Kit wiki not come up on Google when you Google it? It always used to. We've got the Fallout 4 version. What's going on there with the search? And the CK wiki has been removed from Google's index. Why is that, Fish Fiend? That's really irritating. That makes it much harder to search for stuff. I've got the Fallout 4 one. And the search system, unfortunately, within the Creation Kit wiki itself is not nearly as good as Google's one used to be. This is very strange. Hopefully that's something they can get fixed soon. But anyway, we could try going add spell. No, you see, this is the problem. It's really bad at searching. But we do find it down here. Add spell actor. And if we go add spell actor, you have an explanation of how the script works. And it includes examples. So this tells you how to use this particular function. So you get add spell, and then it says the two things that go into it are, well, you can go away and you can learn about how to do this kind of thing yourself. But the point is, on each function, you get an explanation of how it works in the Creation Kit wiki. You can find, as I say, there are tutorials and there are, web pages and things you can search. There's loads of different ways you can search for the stuff. But don't try and learn the whole language in one go. Learn it on a case-by-case basis. Okay? And then you're good to go. But it would really help if Google put the Creation Kit wiki back on Google. Anyway. So I am doing... So we got Frostcrag Spire. We've got the main Whispers of the Mountain quest. Now, I didn't really want to tackle Whispers of the Mountain right off the bat, because it's one of those complicated ones with a bunch of different paths, and I've only ever played one path. Which is going to make it really tricky to comment on. But we could do it while we're doing Frostcrag Spire. I wanted to focus on sort of Bruma main quest stuff to start with. But maybe we'll go down this route since we're already doing Frostcrag Spire, or maybe we'll just do some locational comments on Frostcrag Spire. What are we feeling? I don't know. It'd be very easy to do this little kill the escaped scamp thing. That we could do really easily right now. Hang on. So we could go... Oh, so these are when he first enters. Let's just check I did all of this right. Get stage done, 110 equals 0. Ah, hang on. The quest does have multiple paths, Lost Kitnip, yes. So that has 100 equals 0 and 110 equals 0. Okay, so this script should instead say set stage 110. Hello, Bard. Lovely to see you. I'm doing very well, thank you. I hope you are too. Okay, so let's make a new stage. Let's call this 200, and this can track this particular quest. So I can literally just do a quick comment on tracking down the scamp thing. Summoning a scamp, but failing to properly bind it. As a result, the pesky Daedra is loose in the Gerals. Thank you so much for the sub, Miskatonic. Really kind of you. Ah! Twitch is letting me scroll now. Oh, no, it's changed its mind. Oh! To scroll through the chat, I have to hover my mouse halfway up the chat window. If I hover my mouse over the bottom of the chat window, I'm not allowed to scroll. It doesn't work. But if I hover my mouse halfway up, then it works. What is the deal with that? That is very strange. Yeah, it's the last 3 comments I can't scroll if I'm hovering over. But numbers 4 and 5 I can do. Very strange. Anyway, right, okay. So, we're going to have a line about the scamp. Unbound scamp. Loose in the Gerals. That sounds spectacularly dangerous. Those things are vicious. And that can be a... Let's go with a slight fear. They are kind of cute. I mean, look at his little face. He's kind of sweet. But very dangerous. You know, bitey, scratchy, fire shooty, bad. We're going to condition that on... We're going to say set stage 200. And we're going to do the get stage done has to be 200. And that has to be 0. So this line will only play once. And we're going to say get stage. CYR Frostcrag FF01. CYR Frostcrag FF01. Whoops. And that has to equal 10. So that's nice and easy. The location doesn't matter. Doesn't matter whether you're in an interior or not. We simply need to say those 2 things. And that should be fine. And then we'll have a second line for once you've defeated it. So you go towards the hunter's shack on the southern slope of the mountain, and you see a small bandit camp. Obviously, you break in, you fight the hunt. The hunter's dead, but you find the scamp. You kill the scamp. Thank goodness we found a scamp before it could do any more damage. I only wish. Yeah, there are lots of mods that add scamps to the game. They're one of the very common enemies to add. I think Mihail has them. As you say, Fourth Unknown. They're in Bruma. Are they in the cause? No, I don't think they are in the cause. No, there's a mod that adds them into the cause if you have Bruma. But yeah, they're a fun little enemy to add. Now, if I say we got here, obviously if he says this line after you've actually... Sky Oblivion has them too. Oh, right, there you go. Obviously Sky Oblivion not out yet, but yeah. Thank goodness we found the scamp before we could do any more damage. There. Thank goodness we found the scamp before it could do any more damage. I only wish we caught up with it sooner. That poor hunter. There we go. That'll do. And that's just nothing particularly fancy going on there. It's just some basic awareness. Now, I've just realised I've done that wrong, because that should have a get stage rather than being get stage. Oh no, get stage done 200 should be 0 and get stage should be 1. That's fine. Sorry, yes. But then I need to add a stage here, 210. Right, yep, Immersive Creatures has them too. Probably also Beasts of Tamriel. So now we'll do 210. There we go. Equals 0. Which is that's 210. But I'm also going to say this line only makes sense if Lucien has said his first line. And that's to prevent you recruiting him between the first and the second one and him displaying awareness of something he wasn't present for. So that's if he has said the first line, but he hasn't said the second line. He now says the second line. And this is dependent on the stage being number 20. Thank you so much for the sub, Nuna. 29 months, blimey. Thank you so much for supporting me for so long. It's really nice of you. 20, 200, 210. There we go. So we can tick that one off the list. It's just a little miscellaneous quest. But it's cool. Nice little bit of awareness. Come on, why won't that open? There we go. And we don't need to worry about a comment once you return to Ravil Fandrani. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, can you do the Fandrani? Magnifico, thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Right, let's just remind ourselves what the dialogue was here. Ha! Skyrim oosh, Skyrim oosh. I like that, yeah. So, my word for Frostgrove Sprite. Yeah, go inside. And wow, this is a really cool place. Great. We could do some general lore comments about Frostcrag Spire, just to be said while he's there. Now, what do you think? Should we treat this as canonically having once belonged to the champion of Cyrodiil? Could Lucien refer to that? Could he say, they say this place once belonged to the champion of Cyrodiil? Or is it something that we would assume is more optional? Well, if we look on the lore page, Skyrim transferred the deed of ownership to his Rendell transferred the deed of ownership to his long-lost relative, the champion of Cyrodiil, hoping to prevent his home from falling into ruin. He then wrote his memoirs and sealed the spire. The champion granted his dying wish. Okay, so canonically, yes. But if I, as Nuna says, if I say they say, then that keeps it suitably ambiguous. Save this tower. Once belonged to the champion. To the champion of Cyrodiil. They say of the Acropolis, where the Parthenon is, that it was once owned by the champion of Cyrodiil. What do they say? What do they say? What do they say? What do they say? He's gonna say, he's gonna say. Well, they say of the Acropolis, where the Parthenon is. So Lucien fell asleep in the cart on the way, when he was passing through Bruma on the way to Skyrim, Fish Fiend. So no, he has physically been there, but he was not conscious for it. That's what we're going with for the lore. He was a snoozy boy. Do we want to mention how the champion acquired it? What do you mean by that, Mystic Malevolence? They say this tower once belonged to the champion of Cyrodiil. Looks like it's let itself go a bit since then. Oh no, well no, it's not an excuse, it's just a thing. It's just a narrative choice. Yes, naturally, as Fish Fiend says, when Cyrodiil fully releases, if we're still all here modding and everything by then obviously I wouldn't say Lucien slept through his entire life in the Imperial City. I didn't see any news of that butane, but to be totally honest with you, I don't really keep up with news of the wider Beyond Skyrim projects, because it's all so nebulous and so far in advance. In the nicest possible way, it's amazing. They're amazing projects, but it's so nebulous and so far in advance that there's very little point, in my opinion, for someone like me, as a user, as a player, it's very little point of me getting excited or following or keeping up with news of projects dropping in and out and all that sort of thing. Because, we're talking 5 years time, 10 years time, I don't know, it's such far in the future stuff. There are so many ongoing modding projects that exist. If you start getting excited about all of them, you're in for an awfully long wait with these things. So, I don't really worry. Just concern myself with the mods that are available right now, such as Bruma, which is amazing. Now, CYR Frost Crag Spire location. There we go. Anyone recognize that tune that's stuck in my head today? What do you think? Nope, it's very far from being Willy Wonka. Probably none of you would know it. Oh, we don't want it as 1. That should be 0. It's the theme from Batwoman, which is a great show. Very sadly cancelled, but I've been watching quite a bit of it recently. I was catching up on it. Finished it now. It was one of those shows that, in my opinion, got better and better every season. And there were 3 seasons of it. And by the 3rd season, it was brilliant. The quality was really good, I thought. I was loving the 3rd season. And then it was at that point where it was at sort of, I think, peak quality. It was then cancelled, which is just typical. You know, that's the way it often works with these sorts of shows. It's very frustrating. My favourite season of the Arrowverse. I have probably most enjoyed, out of all the seasons, I'm only halfway through it at the moment, but in terms of sheer fun and enjoyment, season 7 of Legends of Tomorrow, the final season, because that's now been cancelled as well. But I'm about halfway through it now, and I'm loving season 7 of Legends. It's really great. It's a really fun show, Legends of Tomorrow, and it does some very clever things. But I particularly enjoyed... Sorry, I'm not modding at the moment, I'm just chatting, but I particularly enjoyed... There's an episode of Legends... So Legends of Tomorrow was a time travel show. And in my mind, it wins the award for most bizarre and brilliant plot point. Which is that it's this show about where they travel around in time. And I think in season 3 or 4, they're fighting against this demon. This demon called Malus. And the demon is voiced by John Noble, who played Denethor in Lord of the Rings. So the voice actor is John Noble. And they're fighting against this demon. And at one point in the series, they notice, because they're watching The Lord of the Rings, and they notice, hang on, the guy playing Denethor in Lord of the Rings sounds a lot like the demon Malus. Maybe we can use this. And they go back in time to the filming of The Lord of the Rings and get the actor John Noble and get him to record some lines speaking as the demon Malus in order to then confuse and trick Malus's henchmen because they think they're getting instructions from the demon who is actually voiced by John Noble. And it's so stupid and brilliant. And I was just like, that's the whole tone of the show from season 2 onwards. It's just that zany, wacky. I love it. So yeah, there's that anyway. It's not a serious show, Mystic Malevolence is the main thing. Season 1, it thinks Series 1, it tries to be a serious show. And then season 2 onwards, it realises it's not a serious show, it's a stupid show, and embraces the stupidity. And then that's when it gets really great. Anyway, right. More dialogue about Frostcrag Spire. So we're on... Here we are. Right, where's the little page? Okay. Designed and built in the 3rd era by Archmage Taris Rendell. Look, valuable insights every artist needs by this man who's not wearing a shirt. Sign up to SoundCloud. Go on then. No, I'm fine. And look, the next generation of luggage. They've invented suitcases that have, like, turtle shells on the back. It's the next generation. Okay. Anyway, do we know, is this guy worth mentioning? No. I'll be honest. Not very interesting. That's fine. Not one of the more interesting archmages. Okay. To be honest, for a really cool looking tower, there's not much interesting lore for us to talk about. I was expecting a page that was at least 3 times as long as this. Okay, so it was owned by a wizard, and then he gave it to the champion of Cyrodiil. I have nothing else to say about this place. Literally nothing. I guess we're done. A wizard did it. Fine, yes. As Kitnip says. Anyway, sorry, Bard redeemed emote only chat ages ago. I'm gonna click on it. So show me your best emotes, people, for 5 minutes. Except for VIP people, obviously you can still talk. But yes, emotes only, folks. Go crazy. Now you see, I went and created another dialogue thing. I copied and pasted a dialogue thing ready for more things to say about this tower. And I've got now, maybe I can comment on the architecture? That it's very pointy? Yeah, maybe something like that. I love this place's architecture. A symphony of asymmetry. Wins all the points for pointiness. Moobot is not engaging with the emote-only chat. There's everyone showing me their best emotes, and Moobot's just like, Lucien isn't my only Skyrim follower. I also have Croc available here. I should set up the bot to speak in emotes when emote-only chat is on. Toby, I enjoy your chicken. Hydrate. Okay, that'll do. Fine. Good. Okay, I'm happy with the dialogue, and actually I've just decided I'm not going to dive into doing the quest commentary for this one at the moment, so we're going to move on. We're going to create a new quest, which is going to be JR 31, Lucien Bruma main quest. Priority 50, priority 50. And we're going to say get is ID. Why did I delete that? Just to type it in again. Birds are dinosaurs, says Ms. Catonic. Birds are dinosaurs. Good. Yes. I mean, it's not true. They're not dinosaurs. They evolved from dinosaurs. But, I'll allow it. Fish Fiend casting fire breath on me. Spicy stuff. I like that whenever I go to get his ID, I want it to be Lucien, but it always defaults to Test Dead Goat 01. A moment of silence in the chat for the Test Dead Goat 01. What a guy. What a goat. He died being tested for us, so that we could have this video game. Anyway, JR Lucien. Is sneaking equals 0? ba 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 ba. Right, okay, and we are going to go for, it's all going to be idle dialogue, really. But the first quest from the main quest Bruma chain, quest line quest chain thing is, I really nailed that sentence, I have to say, is under quests. Now, obviously, we have Welcome to Cyrodiil, which just happens when you get in. Do we want to comment on that? Maybe we should start with that. And then it says visit Bruma. Well, he should say something when he first arrives in Cyrodiil, shouldn't he? So we could have commentary on the whole not being allowed in thing. Although it's a very branching path again. Very branching. Don't like. Makes it tricky to comment. Well, obviously we like it in game. It's cool having lots of options in game. It just makes it tricky to comment on. But maybe we can do something with that. Go on then. Okay, I'll turn off emote only chat. I think that's been about 5 minutes. Loved your emotes, everyone. I hope you enjoyed putting your little tiny pictures. I hope it brought you happiness. Your journey towards Cyrodiil starts at Pale Pass. Obviously, yes. So, however, there are other mods that also let you get to Cyrodiil through their own ways. So, I think we'll do College of Whispers commentary check when we do, when we're doing the actual quest line that features them. I was just doing general stuff for Frostcrag Spire there. But yeah, okay, so I think we will comment on this stuff, but make it optional kind of stuff that's not, not necessary. Anyway, you get words now, Toby. Yes, it's true. Okay. Seems like fertile ground for new adventures. Okay, so we can have a first line for when you're near the Fort Pale Pass gate. What would he say? Because this is always a weird one for Lucien, because he's specifically come on an expedition to Skyrim, and you're bringing him back home. But he needs to still be enthusiastic about that, because no one wants to bring around a follower who's just like, oh, I don't want to be here, I want to go back to Skyrim. But, like, it's weird to get my head around the logic of it. Come to Skyrim. Oh, but come back from Skyrim to Cyrodiil, and then go on an adventure. But yeah, what should we say? What should we do? Words, writing, thoughts, brain, engage. In spite of myself, I have missed Cyrodiil. Yes, this is true. Maybe something you could say when he arrived. I am so thrilled, Bard, to have brought that to you. Totally is not my invention. It is from the games. But I'm delighted to have been the ambassador for Croc's language. And having brought it into your lives. Anyway, right. Gosh. This is the border with Cyrodiil. When will Bruma patch be released? Yeah, sure. So the Beyond Skyrim Bruma patch I'll be releasing at 5:37 on the 28th of August 2024. So mark your calendars, people, because that's the official release date, the official release time. So I calculated exactly how long it'll take me to write all of the dialogue and record all of the dialogue and do all the get it through beta testing and bug fixing. Obviously, we're paying everyone who's part of the whole process in order to make sure all the times line up. So there you go. There's the release date. I don't know when it's going to be ready. You can see it here. It's got like 5 quests that are barely. It'll be ready when it's ready. Maybe in the next few months. I'd like to release it this year. Soon, TM. Sorry. Forgive my sass. I don't mean... that was rude of me. I apologise. It's just very difficult to give release dates for mods. If not impossible. Because we're all doing this as a hobby. And you just can't. You can't. Should we pop over? Creative juices flowing. Could show you around. That'll probably do. And this we want to say, I think what we want to do here is a get distance check. Get distance, and we want the Bruma gate. Now, where is this? Let's just save there and figure out. So if we go, because it's obviously in Skyrim, what is the cell called that contains the gate to Cyrodiil? It'll be in BS Heartland, obviously. Now maybe CYR. Is there a CYR Pale Pass Exterior 01? Right, let's go there and see if we can find the gate. There it is. And if we have a look here, we right click on this and we say, oh no, that's not what I wanted. Normally you can, that's it. There we go. Take me to the other door marker in this particular patch of wilderness. Here it is. Here is to the gate. So we can condition on this. Select reference in render window. What can we get? This? Helgen Gate 01. There we go. And for the distance to that one, let's say less than 2,000? Probably good. And then we want get stage, obviously. And we want this very quest. Lucien Bruma main quest has to be exactly 0, because Lucien can never have made, this has to be his first ever comment about it. And we want to say get owning quest dot set stage. Let's go with 10. Then we also want to look at the welcome to Cyrodiil thing. Now you see what happens wait a sec. How does this quest actually start? Do you know, Czech, or anyone else? When does this quest actually first appear in your diary to go into Cyrodiil? Is it just the act of walking towards it? Or do you have to talk to the legate or one of these guys and that starts it? You think just when you get to the border? Okay, we'll condition this line on playing so long as this hasn't been completed. One of the NPCs says a line as you get close that starts the quest. Ah, very good, very good. Okay, we're going to just say CYR Skyrim Border Gate top level quest has to be less than 600. CYR Skyrim Border Gate, no. Top level quest has to be less than 600. Yeah, talking to Mirich Ran, right, that also makes sense. So any of those will start the quest. Okay. Anyway, right, good. Shout out from Toby to their local electronics store, mailing them a game the day before launch. Oh, that's fun. That's very nice. What game did you get? Anyway, board with Cyrodiil, we're going to pop virtually around, and we condition that to say the main quest, this has to be 0, the top level quest has to be less than 600, and you have to be near the less than 2,000 from the border gate. But greater than 0 to make sure it is actually loaded. Otherwise, this will play literally anywhere in Skyrim, which we don't want. So it's good. Okay, so we do that. You can have Tiny Lucien on your screen, Sign Shade. He's available to download from the Nexus page. So if you want a Tiny Lucien, that's where you get him. Shout out from Czech to Joseph, that's me, for introducing them to Stray because they played it and loved it. I'm so pleased. I love it too. It's a really fun game with surprising depth. Okay, right. So we'll do another line. Oh, he's dreaming of sweet rolls. Oh, I hope you get one. Convince the legate to grant you passage. So when do you get the line for... When do you get the objective to convince him? Is that when he initially says no? The pass is closed. Wait, they won't let us in? But I'm with you. Don't they know who I am? I am Lucien Flavius. May I please come in? No? Blank looks all around, I see. Charming. My name is Lucien Fabulous. So now we're going to say this has to be less than 20. We're going to set the stage to 20. Scientist, philosopher, amateur wizard, and something of a fashionista. Lucien Fabulous. Don't you know? Right. So now the border quest has to be equal. No, greater than or equal to. Lucien demands to speak to Cyrodiil's manager. The Emperor, I guess? So it has to be greater than 10. No. It needs to be get stage done. CYR Skyrim Border Gate top level quest. 10 has to be equal to 1. Which means you've been refused entry to Cyrodiil. But then less than 30. I think. I'm guessing a little bit here. CYR Skyrim Border Gate top level quest. Okay, so Lucien's not said the line. You have been denied entry. You haven't yet obtained entry. And you're still near the border gate. But actually, I'm going to change this now. And we're no longer going to go Helgen Gate. We're going to say specifically near the dude. CYR, this dude. Specifically. And we're going to say less than 1,000. Let's go with 1,500. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play it for Sads, Cyan Shade, because I think that'll be a bit mean. But yes, they won't let him home. Lucien left his passport and his other coat. What other coat? He has one coat. He has only one, which he wears in all the videos. Admittedly, obviously, the player gives him lots of different outfits and things, but yeah. He has multiple copies. He has a wardrobe full of green fine clothes. That isn't actually his default outfit in my Skyrim anyway. He wears the Beyond Skyrim Cyrodiil outfit because I'm using Tate Taylor's Beyond Skyrim in Skyrim mod with the Lucien patch, which is really cool. And it does make sense. It is immersive. Hello, Kaitashiki, welcome to the stream. Da 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 da. Okay, so you mentioned special services. Myrick Ran. Let's finish with the legate first. This is true. Tate and Gelidity carrying the... and Sacra. Sacralicious, Tate Taylor, and Gelidity carrying the mod integration scene. They do amazing work between them. Mod, Creation Club, Bruma, all DLC, all connecting together in a beautifully polished way. Right, okay. Excellent negotiation. Very well done. Knew he'd come round to our way of thinking. I was just about join in. No, actually, because he does already say his line. Excellent negotiation. Oh, what am I going to do here? I'm sure I could have talked them round eventually. Of course. Oh, that's cool, Lost Kitnip. That's a very cool idea. But I'm glad you've saved us. On we go. Now, of course, so you convinced the legate to let you through. Does the gate immediately open, or do you then, after you convince him to let you through, do you then get the choice to go and open the gate? Because then there's an opportunity for Lucien to say his dialogue in between. But if it literally goes straight from finished dialogue to the gate opening for you automatically, then there's no point me recording this line. I'm pretty sure you finish the dialogue and then you have to go through the gate yourself. Is that it? Lost Kitten says straight to a load screen. What? So it doesn't... It fades to black while he's still talking. Oh, that's annoying then. Oh, this is fun. Make my way into Cyrodiil illicitly. Cyrodiil illicitly. What do we think? What do we think? Fades to black while he's still talking is what Kitnip thinks. Once you've entered Cyrodiil, even if it was through the Serpent's Trail, the gates on both sides of the pass will now always be open. Yeah, if you could check, that would be fabulous. I can, if it's ambiguous, I can always, to be honest, this line also works after you've actually crossed through. Because all you've done is step through a gate. You're literally just on the other side of the gate when you're in the new world space. I would prefer for it to trigger while you're on the other side. But it makes sense for him to still comment on it when you get on the other side, rather than not comment at all. So now we want to know that get stage 30 has to be done. Specifically 30. 30 has to be done, and Lucien has to have said one of his previous lines. So we want get stage done. Oh, this is getting very complicated. Okay, we're gonna... Congratulations on your acquisition of spaghetti, Laura. Wonderful work. I would like spaghetti. Yeah, no, definitely a technical limitation, Wally. Lucien can't get you through the gate. That's way beyond the level of intrusiveness that I go for with Lucien. Shout out from Nuna to this bowl of chili cheese chips, tea of champions. Very good, very good. You're right, Wally, that narratively it would make sense for Lucien to be able to get you through the gate. But that would mean I'd have to modify Bruma's questline. And that is not something I'm comfortable doing. You know, modifying any of their stuff. If they then do an update or change anything, I'm then potentially introducing incompatibility. And it's just no. Nope. Stick to the lightweight commentary stuff only. Because then the beauty of it is when someone comes along and types in my chat, oh, hello, the quest has stopped working and it's Lucien's fault, I can just respond saying, no, it isn't. You know, I can just say, no, Lucien doesn't modify any of the Bruma content, he just comments on it, so it's something else that's causing the problem. Whereas as soon as I have now modified the quest, it's like, oh, have I broken it? I've just created so many more problems for myself. Anyway, so what we want to say is that get stage done. JR31 Lucien Bruma main quest. Okay, let's go back in and actually put in the things. 0, 10, 20, 30. Do 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 do. Get stage done, 0 less than 30. Okay, that's not what we want. We want to say get stage done. JR Lucien Bruma main quest 10 has to be equal to 1 or 20 has to be equal to 1. And 30 has to be equal to 0. Not that. Get stage done. We don't want the distance check anymore, because this could play when you're through the other side of the gate. Shout out from Cyan Shade to Cthulin for giving them some armor in ESO to help them get started on the EU servers. Good cooperation, everyone. Okay, so get stage done is that. We want to now say that the stage 30 has been done. which is that you convinced the guard. And not one. I'm going to add a second check just to make sure. No, hang on. That you didn't kill the legate. So we're just going to make absolutely doubly sure that no murdering happened. Because this dialogue doesn't make sense if there was murdering. I've reached Cyrodiil, arriving in Pale Pass, and it's time for some fresh adventures. Okay, so that's now fine. We don't need this get stage check anymore. Okay, and that should still work, even if you end up on the other side of the gate before you say it. So now we'll have a line for arriving in Cyrodiil. No, Lucien would not be happy with that particular murder. That's another thing we need to think about. It fades to black while the guard's still talking. Kitten was right. Thank you so much for checking. Check. Checking, check. Check, checking. Very good. Okay. Cyrodiil. I must admit, I have missed you. Skyrim is wonderful, but I must admit, I have missed you. Thank you so much for the sub, Vidarian. Very kind of you. Well, this is the thing, Bard. Lucien in general not happy about murder. Were I writing this as a book or as a fanfic, Lucien would be non-violent. Lucien wouldn't generally kill. However, that's not how Skyrim works. There is no viable option, certainly in unmodded Skyrim, to not kill. And Lucien as an NPC certainly will. So I can't make him not be down with murder in general, as much as I'm not sure I would choose that for his character. So where I limit it, I have to say, okay, well, obviously he is fine with killing bandits. But yeah, I guess there are specific situations where he's not happy, that he's not happy with. Such as, killing this guard, for instance, he wouldn't be cool with. So this should be a one-off line to play when you're in Cyrodiil. So we'll say stage is 40 now. And all this needs to be is we're going to say well, you can make the argument about him just defending his life, but he's not just defending his life when he's with you. He is marching into places with the intention of, defeating them. It's not all self-defense. It's not like he's being dragged against his will along with you. So it's a tricky one. Right, so that sets the stage to 40. We don't now care about these stages being done. What we care about is we want to say, get in world space. CYR. No, BS Heartland. There you go. Equals 1. So as soon as you're in that world space, and the state, and he only says this line once, but as soon as they're there, he can say this line. No, don't feel bad, Simon, because as I say, it's this game mechanic that means I have to. It constrains the way I write his character. His character, because of the game mechanic, his character has to be okay with killing. So while I might not choose that if I were writing him in another context, because we're writing him in this context, he has to be. So he is. So don't feel bad because he's okay with it. It's the nature of video games. Okay, so we've done that initial route into Cyrodiil. We should also cover the other options before we move on. So we should cover Myrick Ran, and we should also cover killing the Legate. So let's start with Myrick Ran. So what is Myrick Ran like? I don't think I have gone his route before. Or maybe I did with Dave. Can't remember. Cry about his special service and reassure him you're not in a legion. He will charge you 200 gold and mark the Serpent's Trail on your map. So what's the stage there for that? Stage 22. So that's all we really need. I might just change this stage to 100 just to give us a bit more breathing room. So this is set to 100 now. And that will make 100. Good, I'm glad! You should play Skyrim with Lucien again. It'll be fun. Go on. You know you want to. It's so kind. This Ran chap to show us another way into Cyrodiil. Isn't it nice to know you can always depend on the kindness of strangers? And for that stage, we're going to say 50. Oh, now hang on, because you could do this first. To show, so not another way. His special route into Cyrodiil. Committing border crimes featuring Lucien. Well, this is what I'm going for here, Mystic Malevolence, is Lucien being blissfully unaware that he's committing any kind of crime by going the secret way. So for this, we don't want get stage, we now want get stage done. And I might need to rework some of these conditions. We want get stage done, JR Lucien Bruma. Sorry, JR31 Lucien Bruma main quest 50. Wait, hang on. That's 100. That's 30. So this can be 40. And we want to say get stage done 40 has to be equal to 0. So he's not said this line before. I'm glad you find these streams fun. I know they can be very slow going sometimes while I'm doing all this stuff, and it takes me a long time, and I know I get distracted prattling on about nonsense. But we do get there eventually, and I hope it's mildly entertaining on the way. Get stage done, CYR Skyrim Border Gate, top level quest 10. They do have bananas in Tamriel. They are a thing. If you look up them up on the ESO wiki, on the Elder Scrolls wiki, you'll find them. They are in ESO. Okay. So, specifically, this is 22. So 22 has to equal 1. But... So we want 22 equals 1, but the stage has to be less than 30, which it still is, so that's good. Okay. And we're going to say, this time we want Myrick Ran. Now, is he in the same cell? Let's see if we can find him. What other universes do you think Lucien would fit into? Well, I've been putting a lot of thought into this recently. With Starfield coming out, I think it sounds like he'll definitely fit into that universe. I think he'd have a great time in our universe. I think he'd be fascinated to discover a lot of the science. Is this Myrick Ran? When you say Starfield question mark, Miss Blue, does that mean you don't know what Starfield is? Yes, Skyrim Border, great, Myrick Ran, there we go. Starfield is the new Bethesda RPG. It's a sci-fi RPG they've announced that's coming out next year. And obviously we don't know very much about what the game will be like. It might end up being rubbish. But they have said it'll be moddable. They have said it'll have followers. And they have said that there won't be a voiced player protagonist. So all of those things imply it will be possible for me to bring Lucien to Starfield in some form when that comes out. If we decide that's something that we want to do. You know, if there's demand for it, if it looks like it's a good game and it's going to be fun to do that. I have no idea whether it will have playable aliens or not. That's not something that personally interests me. Are there any special tweaks for the creation kit for moving dialogue lines up and down the list? No, all you do is you use the left and right arrow keys. So if you click on it and then you press the right arrow key, it moves down, and the left arrow key and it moves up. That's in the vanilla CK. Okay, so that's literally, we need that. I'm just going to check these ones now. Get stage, that was all get stage dones. Now I said that this only works if the stage is less than 30. Or less than 20, but actually what we want is to say get stage done. 20 is 0. JR31 Lucien Bruma main quest 20 equals 0, because then this line will still fire even if you spoke to Myrick Ran first. And then that line works. No, it's not up and down, it's left and right. Well, up and down might work as well. No, up and down just moves you up and down through the list. Left and right is what we want. Yeah, no, don't worry about it now, Cthulin. So it's not conditional. It's not dependent on whether you guys think it looks... Because I agree. We all think... Well, most people we speak to, I certainly strongly think it looks like it'll be a really cool thing to do. But what it's dependent on is what the information... What the game is like. So when we find out more about the game... Even when the game is released, you know, we need to see what the feedback is like, see whether people like it or don't like it. If it's just released, if it's awful, you know, they might release the game, it might be completely panned, everyone might hate it, you know. It might be a buggy mess, it might not work, it might be awful. It probably won't be. My money will be that it is a good game. It's Bethesda. Bethesda make good games, we know this, so it probably will be really good, but there's always the chance it won't be. So I don't want to commit to anything until we know more about what the game is like and we know whether it'll be viable or not. Because there's no point me spending loads of information writing out and planning and voice acting stuff for a big mod that we're releasing for a game that nobody plays. You know? That would be a big shame. So that's what it's dependent on, really. Oh, I'll play it even if it's a buggy mess. Yeah, sure. But I don't just want it to be something that people play. If I'm going to put all the effort into my into making a mod for it, I want it to be a game like Skyrim that people keep coming back to and keep playing. Wouldn't want it to be just a small one-off thing. Anyway, so that, to be honest, is all we need for that route, because then we can have dialogue about the Serpent's Pass, but that can be separate. It will be the same Lucien. It won't be done through a Dwemer spaceship. But if I were to bring Lucien to Starfield, it would absolutely be the canonical continuation of Lucien's story. Wouldn't be alternate universe. Wouldn't be a new version of him. It would be a continuation of the same Lucien you know from the game. Perhaps with some adventures in between. Hi, Ninja. Welcome to the stream. So now we need to talk about the, what happens if you kill the... I think to make this simple and not a massive complicated thing, I'm not going to make this something Lucien leaves you over. I think I'll play it as being a misunderstanding, so we can have some combat dialogue for, oh God, no, this is all just a big misunderstanding. And then after that, we can have some follow-up dialogue to say, I wish you hadn't done that, and then make you lose approval rating. But I don't want to make this a Parthenax cut-off point. Well, yeah, I'm hopeful that that Starfield will be a modding sandbox as well, Sakura. I'm hoping it'll have the same vibe. And I also think the fact that they're going to have so many planets gives so much space for modders to fill it out. I think that will lend itself quite well to being a modding sandbox. Lucien will not get his own planet. You should make your own follower, and if you want to make your own follower, you could check out my tutorial series on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. How to make a follower mod like Lucien Flavius. And that'll tell you exactly how to do it from a beginner's point of view. I don't think even Lyra and Davidicus would buy him his own planet. Conquer worlds in Lucien's name politely. How do you politely conquer a world? Right. Oh, what do we think? Do we capitalize gods? I think we probably don't capitalize it. You capitalize divines. I don't think you capitalize gods in the context of Elder Scrolls. It's all just a terrible misunderstanding. We'll all just stop and talk about this, please. And we're going to inherit that as taunt dialogue. But I need to actually give it a name, of course, because it's shared info. So, for those of you interested in learning about mod making, when you create a shared info, these are lines that you can inherit into other systems, into other things. So if you create a shared info line, you only need to record it once, and then you can make it a taunt and an attack thing, and idle if you want, you can reuse it. So shared info lines are lines that you want to reuse. So this one I'm going to call JR31. Lucien Bruma, main quest, misunderstanding. Hello, Dark Fox and Dark Fox's raidery people. Lovely to see you all. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the raid, Dark Fox. That is lovely of you. Hi, people. Welcome. What have you been working on / doing today? I'm working on Lucien's Beyond Skyrim Bruma patch. Okay. And yes, encouragement for Ninja. Write more. Go for it. We wish to read your stories. I'm sure your story will be brilliant. Write words. Remember, you can edit rubbish, but you can't edit nothing. So write something, write anything. You can make it good. Thank you so much for the follow, Raccoon Dance. I love the name. You were actually playing the game, Dark Fox. Oh, wow. Well, I hope you're enjoying it. You did create an outfit manager mod during the heat wave. Oh, right. What kind of outfit manager? Like for followers? For any NPC? The modding's going okay. It's slow progress as ever because I've been chatting and generally dithering. But we have made good inroads into my Bruma patch. And hopefully it's something I can release at some point within the next few months. Right. So that inherits that. Oh, that's shared info. Hang on. So we don't want that anymore. We want to go back to the taunt. Activate an item in your inventory and it equips or unequips set outfits on the fly. Oh, that's very cool. I suppose I should expect nothing less. But still, good stuff. Right, share response. So now we go in here and we go JR31 and that inherits the line. So we only need to record it once. And I'm going to reuse it as both a taunt and combat thing just to make sure this works. We want to go, what do we want to do? We want to say, I think we should specifically do it on the legate so that we specifically know that this is exactly the right situation that we want. So this is CYR Legate Kentos Jurius. That's the one, isn't it? Yes. We should also do this with the Legos. No, not with Lego. No Lego. So we want to say specifically that your Lucien's current combat target is that guy for this line to play. And we won't make it, we will make it random. And we'll go get owning quest dot set stage. Let's call this 60. And then we're going to say, obviously, we want this line to only play once. So we do get stage done. Thank you so much for the raid, Dark Fox. Have a good rest. Lovely to see you. And we want main quest. And we want to say 60. Ah, but I haven't made 60 yet. $60. And I'll also do 70 just for funsies. Because I'm sure we'll probably need it. Combat, back to the taunt. 60, so now we can say... Hydrate. Bit of a misnomer, really. Coke doesn't really hydrate you because it's a diuretic. So it doesn't actually really do anything to hydrate you. But in principle, I'm hydrating, if not in practice. The spirit is there. Anyway, get stage done. JR31, Lucien Bruma main quest 60 equals 0, because we only want him to say this line once. And you want to make sure that the combat target is that. Okay, that works. Then if we duplicate this line, and we also add it as attack dialogue, that should make sure it definitely does fire. And we'll move this now to the attack with the same conditions. And between these two lines... Oh, so it's better than nothing, Nuna reckons. Oh, well, that's good to hear. Okay. So then we can follow up with an idle line about the consequences of that. That was not necessary. How many quests do you end up with? It depends on how much you want to break it down. For instance, if you want to do one follower quest for each quest they comment on, you'll end up with an awful lot. I like to sometimes group them together just to keep it a little bit tidier. But you can do whatever works for you. There's no problem with having loads of quests running. It's not an issue. So I'd probably have a couple of dozen for my main Lucien mod, whereas we've only got 5 so far for the Bruma patch. Actually, it was wrong. No, I'm not sure. How do I want to do this? At all. These poor soldiers. Families. Talk it out. I'm trying to make this. What I'm trying to do with this is make it not such a big deal that it should be a full conversation breakup kind of thing. But I don't want to trivialize it either. It needs to be like an appropriate level of response that's believable without blowing up into a massive thing. Because, as I say, I don't want him to leave you over this, but... But I want it to cost you, like, 20 approval. I think it needs, like, one more sentence on it. I don't know, Miss Blue, all I really try to do with it is try to make his responses as believable as possible. No, Lucien doesn't leave you if your approval gets low enough, but his dialogue gets a lot less friendly. But at the moment, there's no system. It's very hard to get his approval particularly low at the moment. But maybe I could add something to have him... No, there's no active value for it. It's a script variable that I add. It's part of Lucien's system. See, I also don't want to... I was thinking of something like, I'm not going to forget this, but then that feels a bit telltale. No, Doomsbethar's a vital character, Wally McFly. I couldn't... He's not something to just be killable. He's very crucial to the rest of Lucien's story. I need him for the third personal quest. Yeah, there's a third one. Of course there's a third one coming. It's got a whole dungeon and everything. I've talked about it a fair bit in interview and things before. As I say, it's not ready yet. It's not going to be ready for a while. I've got a lot of work to do on it. It's not going to be in the next update. But there will be a third, and it'll be the third and final quest for Lucien. It sort of caps off the trilogy. And yes, I'm currently teasing it on Patreon. So those of you who have been kind enough to support me on Patreon get to see a few little hints of what's coming. And yes, I always make sure it's safe to update Lucien on an existing save. I'm always very careful to ensure it doesn't cause any problems when you do that. I quite like Luna. I quite like Nuna's line there. Some time to deal with this. Right, so now we want to say get stage done. And we're going to go with JR31 Lucien Bruma main quest. And we're going to have any of the initiators. So 10 or 20 or not 30 because that's when you convince, but oopsie daisy. Don't know how I managed to open that. Or 60. Didn't we say 60 was the combat line? Yeah, and then this will be 70 for this particular line. So 10, 20, or 60. No, I've done it all wrong. Sorry, that needs to be 1. That needs to be 20. And that needs to be 30. No, sorry, 60. Or that is 1. There we go. And then if we duplicate the final, so now we're saying get stage done 70. Has to be 0. But yeah, anyway, regarding the teasing of the new content, I'm trying to make that a thing where I'm putting something new up for it at least once a month, going forward as a regular thing. Because obviously I can't do the custom names at the best buddy tier anymore because of the new Nexus rules, but I can, you know. So I want to make sure I can give, you know, something back. I can tease the future content at least. So I want to make sure that I'm delivering that on a regular basis. So there's lots more to come on that front. And it won't all just be pictures. I want to do some story content as well. Absolutely, yes. So every month on Patreon at the $10 tier and above, you get a sneaky peek about what's coming in Lucien's third personal quest. The next, you know, what the next part of his story is. And there's also a sneak peek there for Lucien the Dragonborn as well. Okay, so anyway, so that's 10, 20, 60. Absolutely, yes. I've been working on the personal quest off stream. That's something I will never show on stream, because I don't want to spoil it. I would never show something that's key narrative content like that. So that's something you guys won't ever see me work on stream. As I say, I won't have it ready for the next update because it's way too big for that. I'm not going to have it ready in time. But, because I want to release, there's a lot of stuff I want to release first. But, it will, yeah, it's something that I'm working on and will be coming in the future. Anyway, so 10, 20, 60, 70, and I want to say get stage done. Similarly, get stage done, but now on the Bruma thing to make sure the guy is dead. Get stage done. Uh, 31 equals 1. Oh, that's not it. There we go. And that should do. Wow, we didn't actually get very much done this stream. But it was complicated. So there we go. I will refund you those channel points, Cthulhu, because I actually want to end the stream in a second. Rather than launch into a song now. Oh, does the Moobot confuse you? Maybe I should reword the Moobot things as saying, specifically referring to Joseph rather than my. Because yes, I wrote it in the first person. But if that's not instantly obvious, I sort of assumed it was obvious, but if that's not instantly obvious, then I should rewrite them all as being sort of from Joseph. You know, like what Joseph does. Which feels a bit weird for me to write, but if it's coming from another person, then maybe I should. I can't name the bot. The bot is the bot. It's a third-party thing. It's not my bot. I could make that a bit clearer. That's correct. So Moobot is a whole is a thing. It's a website. You go on. It's called Moobot. You sign up for Moobot. You get the Moobot on your thing. You know, it's I didn't code it. I can't make a bot. It's not a thing I have the power to do. So I've signed up for the Moobot service, and then you can configure your what messages and stuff. So yeah, so maybe I'll make it into third person. I will do that. That sounds better. Anyway, right. Thank you all so much for watching. We made some progress today, so that's good. We can all be cheerful about that. Excuse me. I'll be back on Saturday. I'm going to let you guys vote in the Discord again about whether you want more Skyrim content or whether you want whether you want more Skyrim content or whether you want the next part of the Stray playthrough. I'll let you guys vote to decide. But we'll be playing something on Saturday. It might be earlier than the 7 o'clock normal slot. I'll confirm that on Discord and I'll update the stream schedule and everything to show that if it is. Might be starting earlier than... It might be starting the same time as our normal Thursday ones rather than the later build time of Saturday normally. But there'll be something on Saturday anyway. So do tune in if you're around. Hi Marsh2 2023. So glad you're enjoying Gopher using the thing. I'm really glad Gopher's getting on well with Lucien. It's really nice to see. So that's really cool. Thank you so much for watching. Do follow the channel. If you'd like to see more of this nonsense in the future, that's always nice. And if you're watching from the future on the YouTube VOD that I'll be uploading tomorrow as ever to my VOD channel, then don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that like button, leave me a comment underneath, and all of that nonsense. And if you're feeling particularly kind, maybe consider checking out my Patreon. But yeah, right. I'm going to go. I'm going to have dinner. So, like, hope you all have a nice rest of your day, wherever you are. And stay marvelous, and I will see you all again very soon. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye!